Hello and welcome to this session. This is Professor Farhat, in which we would look at operating cash flow special topics. So we will keep working with operating cash flow, but in this session we are going to apply the operating cash flow in certain circumstances, and specifically we'll focus on three decisions. Replacement decisions, when we evaluate cost-cutting proposal while using incremental after-tax cash flow, as we ignore sunk cost and include any opportunity cost, the basics that we learn about operating cash flow. That's one thing. The second topic we would look at is how to set the bid price. So sometimes we might have to offer our services for a certain price. Well, we could use operating cash flow in order to help us do so. And in this situation, you will see we are going to solve for the price that yields NPV equal to 0, given the required return, certain percentage, cost, taxes, and project life. Basically, solve the formula for NPV equal to 0. You can find your price, and that's your minimum. That's the price that you will bid. And the third one is the equivalent annual cost. Here we have to compare investments with unequal lives. So one project for 3 years, the other for 5. What we have to do here, converting present value of cost to the annual equivalent, and choose the lowest equivalent annual cost, EAC. So in this session, we would look at each one of these situations separately. We'll explain what it is briefly, look at an example practically, and this is how we use operating cash flow. Now, what I want to tell you is this before we proceed. Operating cash flow, discounting operating cash flow, in my opinion, that's the basic of finance. Even if you want to evaluate a stock price, if you want to evaluate a company, small, large, publicly traded, a stock with dividend, stock with no dividend, you could always use operating cash flow. The point I am trying to make here, if you understand these concepts, if you understand how operating cash flow is used to evaluate decision, then guess what? You're good to go. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, FarhatLectures.com. Whether you are taking a finance course or preparing for the CPA, CMA, or CFA exam, finance doesn't have to feel confusing or overwhelming. Most students struggle not because finance is too hard, but because concepts build on each other. Formulas change with one assumption, and classes often move way too fast to keep up. At Farhat Lectures, we slow the process down. We explain the intuition behind the numbers, why formulas work, what each variable means, and how everything connects to real decision. When the logic becomes clear, finance becomes simple and manageable. You stop memorizing and you start truly understanding. Ready for finance to finally click? Start your free trial at farhatlectures.com. The first case will be evaluating cost-cutting proposals, which is basically replacing an old asset with a new one. Because sometimes what we do is we make an investment not to grow sales, but to reduce operating cost. If we reduce operating cost, that's basically more revenue for us, more income for us. So simply put, we have to answer, does the cost saving justify the investment? If it does, then that's good. Then we'll undertake it. It's as if this investment increasing our revenue. So the key principle here, when you're making those decisions, keep in mind to ignore sunk cost, past costs that are irrelevant. We talked about those. Focus only on the future incremental cash flow. Include opportunity costs. Remember when we started this chapter, we talked about all these factors like selling unused equipment or land, and focus on the incremental effect. Compare the incremental cash flows of keeping the old asset versus replacing it with a new asset after tax and including disposal value. So you have to take everything into account. Now the best way to look at this is to just look at an example. But the way we compute this is, first we have to look at our initial investment. Obviously it would include the cost of the machine. That will be a big one, right? Any loss or gain on the sale of the old machine. Remember, we have to get rid of the old machine. We might sell it, have a gain, or we might have to pay someone to take it. We might have a loss or a gain on the sale. Opportunity cost of the unused asset. Then step 2, we would compute the operating cash flow, which is the savings minus the expenses times 1 minus T plus the depreciation tax shield. Now, if you don't know what this is, go to the prior session because we looked at this formula in the prior session. Then we have to take into account the terminal cash flow, which is the salvage value of the new asset. How much can we get for this asset at the end of its tax life, including the tax effect. Let's look at an example. A company is considering replacing an old machine with a new one. The new machine would cost $50,000. The old machine resale is $10,000. Okay, so we have to pay 50, but we're going to get 10,000 initially. So net, hopefully you know, it's going to be net cost is 40,000. Net cost is 40,000 today. The annual cost saving is 15. So every year we are going to save 15,000. But this machine would require an additional 3,000 of expenses. Well, if we're going to save 15 and pay 3, our net saving is 12. It's still positive net saving. The tax rate for this example is 30%. The depreciation per year is $10,000. Now we have to compute whether it's a good decision or not. What's the initial investment? The initial investment is 40,000. This is how much do we have to come up with? 50. Then we're going to get 10,000 back from the old machine. The operating cash flow is what? 15 minus 3 equal to 12. Then this 12,000 is, then we have to multiply it by, because it's going to increase our revenue, we're going to have more, but the 12,000 we're going to keep only 70% out of it. 70%, 1 minus the tax rate, 1 minus the tax rate. Then we add 10,000 times 30% the tax shield. We add back 3,000. We get a 3,000 savings for the $10,000 of depreciation right here. Now, if any of this formula is confusing to you, please go to the prior session. Once we solve for this, we find out that our operating cash flow, which is 12,000 times 70% plus 3,000, we end up with 11,400. Now compare NPV, except if positive. Well, it is positive. The operating cash flow, we are going to get a positive NPV of 11,400. We are good to go. So this is an example of evaluating cost-cutting proposal. Another way to use operating cash flow is set the bidding price. So sometime you might be competing for a contract. You have to find what is my minimum price I can charge and still break even on NPV. So the NPV equal to 0. So the point here is solve for where the NPV equal to 0. We solve for the price that NPV equal to 0. So how do we do that? Well, we estimate cost. We're going to have the cost. Some of it will be fixed. Some of it will be variable. Estimate investment needed. Compute the required operating cash flow and solve for the price. So let's assume a firm must produce 10,000 units annually for 4 years. The fixed cost is $100,000 per year. The variable cost is $5 per unit. The initial investment is $200,000. And our discount or hurdle rate is 10%. How much can we charge as if we're producing 10,000 units? How much can we charge per unit? This is what we have to find out, the price for this project, giving those costs. Well, first, find the annuity needed to recover the investment. What's the investment? This is what we have to find out. The investment is $200,000. The initial investment is $200,000. So what is the factor, the annuity factor needed to recover this investment? Okay, how do we find this out? Well, let's think of it this way. If we take 200,000 divided by the present value annuity factor, the interest rate is 10%. The interest rate is 10%. That's our discount rate. And the period is 4 years. Now we have to go to the present value annuity table and find that factor. Find that factor. If we find that factor, we'll find that factor is 3.17. In your book, it might be 3.169 or some 669 or whatever, but I rounded it to 3.17, just in case you have a different factor in your book. Now, where is this coming from? This is coming from the present value annuity tables. I equal to 10%, N equal to 4 period. Now, why did I find this? Because I want to recover I want to find out what's my operating cash flow to get 200,000, and it's going to be approximately $63,090. Now, what did I just did? Here's what I just did. I want to know how much money my operating cash flow should be so I recover 200,000, and through the time value of money I find out it's $63,090, because if I take this amount multiplied by 3.17, it should give me approximately 200,000, which is, this is all what I solved for. Sum x times I was able to find the factor equal to 200,000. Therefore, my operating cash flow is approximately $63,090. So my operating cash flow every year should be $63,090 to recover my 200,000. Remember, if I recover my 200,000 and earning 10%, NPV equal to 0. So this is what I'm trying to find out. Okay, great. So now I'm going to solve for the price. I have everything that I need at this point. Revenue minus cost. What's my revenue minus cost? Which is, I don't know my revenue is. I know I'm going to be selling 10,000 unit. I'm going to multiply this by a price. So this is my revenue. I really don't know my revenue, because if I know my revenue, it's easy. I don't know. I'm trying to set my price, because price times the 10,000 unit will be my total revenue, minus my cost. What's my cost? I have $100,000 of fixed cost right here. I have to deduct this, plus I have $50,000 of variable cost. What's the variable cost? The variable cost per unit is 5. 5 times 10,000, my variable cost is 50. So notice, I don't know what my price is, but my price times 10,000 unit minus my cost, I need to have an answer of 63,000 of operating cash flow every year, because this is what I did in the example. I figured out how much do I need in operating cash flow, $63,090. Now all what I have to do is solve for P, which is 10,000 P equal to 213,090. P is approximately $21.31. Once again, depending on which factor you use, the present value annuity factor, if you used 3.1699 or 669 or something like that, you might get a slightly different price, but approximately I can bid $21.31, give or take a few pennies, and be able to get an NPV equal to 0. And this is how I can set my bidding price for this project. Again, this is discounting cash flow, operating cash flow at work. The third method, the third use is to evaluate investment with unequal life, comparing assets with different lives. What we have to do here, we have to convert everything into an annual cost. Why? Because we have to compare apple to apples. A machine that lasts 2 years is different than a machine that lasts 4 years. If we have machine A lasts 2 years, machine B is 4 years, we cannot use NPV directly because it's misleading. So the solution is to find something we called the equivalent annual cost, EAC. What's the formula for EAC? The formula for EAC is NPV divided by the present value annuity factor, giving certain rate and certain time period, R or I and N. So let's take a look at this example. Machine A would have a cost of 10,000, 2-year life, and a discount rate of 10%, and the NPV for this machine is 10,000. Now if the NPV is not given, you have to compute the NPV. What we do now is we take the NPV, which is 10,000, divided by the present value annuity factor, I equal to 10% or R equal to 10%, N equal to 2 period, it's 1.735. Once again, depending on how much you round, and it's going to be the equivalent annual cost is 5,763. We'll do the same thing for the other machine, machine B, 18,000 the cost, life is 4 years, NPV is 18,000. When we compute this, we find out that the equivalent annual cost is 5,678. Well, we're going to choose the lower of the EAC. Which one is the lower? This one here. Machine B is the lower. We are converting everything now into apples to apples so we can make the comparison between those two by computing the equivalent annual cost EAC. So this is the third use of operating cash flow. Once again, are these the only three uses? Absolutely not. It's endless. It's endless. Every time you have a cash flow, you can find the value by discounting the operating cash flow. But the key is to know how to compute this operating cash flow, what goes into it. It's only cash in, cash out. Let's take a look at this multiple choice question from farhatlectures.com. A firm previously spent $20,000 studying a project. It's now considering investing $100,000 in equipment that will generate positive NPV. How would the $20,000 be treated? So we're looking to determine whether we should make an investment. If the NPV is positive, we will undertake it. If the NPV is not, we will not. But the question here is asking specifically, how do we treat this $20,000? A, added to the initial investment. B, deducted from future cash flow. C, ignored in the analysis. D, amortized over the life of the project. All right. How would you make that decision? How would you treat this $20,000 if you want to compute the NPV? And the answer is you will ignore it. The $20,000 is considered a sunk cost. Nothing we can do about that cost. Don't take it into account, because whether we accept this project or we don't accept this project, it's irrelevant for us. To make that determination, we'd look at future cash flow. Therefore, in this analysis, this is an example of a sunk cost, because if you take it into account, added, deducted, amortize it, it doesn't matter. You are taking it into account. It's not a sunk cost. What should you do now? Whether you are a finance student, CPA exam candidate, CMA, studying for some professional certification, my best advice to you is to invest in yourself. No one can take that away from you. Go to Farhat Lectures, look at additional resources, multiple choice, AI resources, lectures. Don't shortchange yourself, and God bless.